Morning, everybody. Yes, good Monday morning on this, it's the 16th day of October. So glad to have you here joining us for the 2 best hours of local live talk radio here on East Mississippi and West Alabama. Roger B. here with you this morning, along with the whole team, and nothing but the team. Say hi to my main man, Rob Atkinson.
Hi.
How you doing, Rob?
Wonderful.
Wait a minute now. You've been watching reruns of Fred Rogers and Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Putting on the sweater,
Yeah.
playing the shoes.
Oh, it's a Monday. It's just a wonderful day.
It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. And, of course, say hi to, here he is, folks. He's the man that everybody loves to see, especially when he's cooking it up at Weidman. Say hi to Charles Frazier.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, you look well.
I haven't been watching the reruns of, Mr. Rogers. I didn't know they had reruns of Mr. Rogers. Is it like a Nickelodeon thing or something?
It was public broadcasting.
I
got him on VHS.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right.
He's got the whole
Those
disc.
are useful.
He's got the whole series on disc.
Yes.
Right.
No.
After I listened to my 8-tracks, I put in the VHS, and then
I tell you.
it's a great Monday.
Actually, a strange thing. On the visit we made to Central Florida, we visited Rollins College. And went to the chapel there and toured it. It's kind of nice. And there in the courtyard of the chapel at Rollins College is a statue dedicated to Fred Rogers.
Nice.
Really?
He is an alumna.
Not Henry Rollins. Well,
and he is.
really?
And then he met his wife there, who they were both accomplished musicians and music majors, and they. One little interesting.
Is he in the cardigan? In the statue?
He is, and then it's got all his, on the back of the statue, it's got like all the characters that were on his show, things like that. Interesting. That's beside the point. You started out the show by saying,
Hi, wonderful.
Good morning, welcome. But then, subsequently, because of that, watched the movie about him with Tom Hanks, and that was good. So
Hanks was good in that. He really was.
Hanks is good. I'm trying to figure out a movie where Hanks has not been good. Can you think of one? Can you think of a Hanks movie that wasn't good, or he wasn't good?
Give me time. I'll figure one out.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Joe versus the volcano.
Oh, he was good in that one, man.
I don't know. I don't know if the film was good, though.
I go away.
He was good. Yeah,
I'm
well,
not
you have
talking
to kind of go way back,
Yeah.
don't you? Well, he got real selective with his roles. I mean, he's a smart actor. He knows what he can play to.
Well, it seems to be
I think he's very
everything.
choosy.
He's done Sully. He's done Mr. Rogers.
He played Walt Disney in the Mary Poppins.
Walt Disney?
Yeah,
I didn't see that one either.
Yeah. He was good in that. He's
Saw Castaway. It's on like all the time.
Yeah.
You know, if you ever want to watch it.
Well said.
That's right. That's where
Everybody always goes to that.
That's right. Unfortunately, that's a story about a cargo plane that went down and a lot of packages lost. Just kind of setting us up for what to expect to these days. There was a FedEx plane that went down in Chattanooga about a week and a half ago.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
They were on a kind of a checkout flight or something, and the gear wouldn't come down. They had to belly land in Chattanooga.
Okay. Sort of a belly flop, huh?
At Lovell Field, believe it or not.
Okay. I believe it. Yeah. No reason not to.
Airport in Chattanooga is named after Jim Lovell.
Not level. I thought it was a level field.
No, it was Lovell.
But it probably is level as well. It's the level field.
Well,
it could be.
Yeah.
No?
It's not unlevel.
Always best to level an airport, whether you call it level or not.
Level. All right.
And people are just saying, what in the world did I just tune into here? Oh, well, we're glad you're out there. This is the day of the last pro football game of the weekend for Monday Night Football. So this is Monday Football Day.
Oh, you
That's
mean
true.
the Cowgirls play tonight?
Oh, boy.
The Cowgirls. You talking about what is the name for the Dallas cheerleaders? Is it Cowgirls?
I have no idea. I just talked
But
about
Dallas is playing.
I was talking about the football team.
They're
but
called all kinds of things.
Who is Dallas playing?
They are out in Los Angeles playing the Chargers tonight. Because you can't call them the San Diego Chargers anymore. They're the L.A. Chargers
I can't
now.
keep up with it.
I know. It's
Who's in
Let's
Las
see.
Vegas and
We've
what's
had the
going on?
L.A. Rams.
Yep.
St. Louis Rams.
That became the St. Louis Rams.
And once upon a time, the Raiders were in L.A.
Now,
They were.
where did the Rams end
Then
up?
they were Oakland.
The
of
Rams are
course,
still
but-
in LA,
well,
yeah.
They were really
So we have two L.A. teams.
Yeah, you got the Chargers and the Rams. They both share that stadium out there, and it's not in Los Angeles. I think it's on the outskirts. So, but yeah,
So would the only other city in the country that has 2 football teams, and not really 2 cities, but you got the New York Giants and the New York Jets? Is that
Yeah, they share a stadium as well.
So those are those only 2 metropolises that have 2 NFL teams.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm just a purist. Back in the old days, we called them San Diego Chargers. It's like saying Oakland Raiders. I mean,
the broadcasters are hilarious when they do a Chargers game. They always, at least once, maybe twice during the game, either the color analyst or the play-by-play guy will drop San Diego, and they're like, "Oh gosh, I did it again," because everybody does it.
It's habit. Yeah.
I mean, really, it is habit. So, but yeah, that's the Monday night game tonight. So they're going to be out in L.A. playing that one.
all right. Well, that was. I enjoyed. I took a little break from NFL there for a while, and we all know why. At least I think
you know why?
I think it was because of Colin Kaepernick.
No.
I thought you meant like the last couple of weeks, but this was
Or it actually
over a
might have
period
been. It might not have been so much Kaepernick, but maybe
whole kneeling and that
Goodell's
trend.
response to Kaepernick. Maybe that was
The other Roger?
the other Roger.
Oh.
Roger that. But but I was enjoying. Caught the. I didn't get to watch the game, but I watched the recap, the 13-minute recap of the Dolphins game, and that was real nice against the. Was it the Panthers?
Yeah, Carolina. Yeah.
Carolina jumped out in front, a couple touchdowns, but boy, the Dolphins responded.
How about those Dolphins?
Yeah, I've got to plug them, and of course, the 72 Dolphins. Those that are still alive, they're celebrating because
Cracking the champagne.
no undefeated teams as of for this season as of yesterday.
Yep, Eagles lost. They were undefeated. So did the 49ers, and yeah.
It's not so much the Eagles lost, but it's how and when they lost.
No, right?
The last was just a little over 2 minutes, wasn't it?
Yep.
And they got an interception, or the Jets got an interception. And now the Jets are what, 3-3?
Yeah, without their guy,
Right.
Rodgers.
This is an interesting time for NFL. I mean, look at the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I love that story.
What is they've had a loss, or
They're 5-1. Yeah.
They're 5-1. Can you believe it?
They have the best. I want to say I saw a stat yesterday. They have the best, I think, 16, 17 game stretch. It's like the early 60s.
Wow.
So that's how impressive this is right now for Detroit.
And how bad they've been since the early 60s.
Exactly. So, but if you cannot like their head coach Dan Campbell, something's wrong. He is a coach you'd want to play for. He is something else. So
It's good to see some of the teams that you think they're having their usual down season. Good to see them kind of coming alive.
Yeah,
this
I
year.
love it.
So it's good. It's good. It's maybe I think that's good for the NFL. It's good to have some of these peripheral teams come alive and.
Of course it is,
get them up there.
Because there's always a guarantee when you sit down for Thanksgiving. There's 2 things: the Lions are on TV, and the Lions are losing.
Well, and Dallas is on, and who knows?
Is on, and who knows there?
That's it, right.
So
Roll
this
the
year,
dice.
so this year, Detroit, will they win a Thanksgiving game?
Yeah, they
Maybe. I
could.
don't know. We'll see.
Detroit. Anyway, now who is happy and who is sad in the college football world?
Alabama would need to do a heart check on their fans.
Yeah, I mean,
survive that one against
they've
Arkansas.
come down to earth, I think. But they're barely they're winning. And that's what good teams do. But they're not as dominating as they have been.
Squeaked one out on Saturday there against the Razorbacks. Is that who?
The Hogs, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
The 2 and 4 Hogs.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird weekend in college football because you didn't have Ole Miss playing, you didn't have Mississippi State playing, and Southern Miss didn't play. So it was kind of
Play Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird time there for Southern Miss, but yeah. So a lot of folks here in the state were kind of,
What'd they do? Give Mississippi the week off?
They did pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
Y'all
pretty much
just
it?
take a pause,
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Who's going to take a bye week here on the 14th?
The state of Mississippi.
Exactly. Y'all need it.
Let's put Mississippi in timeout.
Right.
Mercy.
Where we belong.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right. We're rested.
Stayed in Southern.
We'll be rested and ready for next weekend, right?
Yep.
Anyway, well, I tell you what. Don't know if you heard. Still war in Israel. Just saying.
Wow. Yeah.
Just in case you haven't heard that.
Oh yeah.
I think they're kind of gearing up for it. I don't even know if there is war at this point. They're just getting ready.
Well,
Preparing.
and that in itself is a nice little commentary here. We have one of the smallest countries in the world with one of the most, I want to say, for the size of the country, they have one of the most ferocious militaries. But we've spent now a week and a half describing about what they're going to do. And I'm just curious about this. Strategically, I would be bothered by this unless I'm doing this for purposeful positioning. But okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come into Gaza. Get ready. We're coming. We put let's get everybody out that's innocent. They put the little leaflets out and drop them. Get out. We're coming. Well, guess who else would be getting out? Maybe the people who were instigating this.
Yeah.
Won't they be miles away watching this on Fox News or CNN? And
were they there anyway to begin with? I mean, the leadership. I think they were probably out of the country anyway, sitting somewhere else, Qatar or
because that's all they've been talking
places.
the last 24, 48 hours. They are preparing the ground strike.
Well, and
and I'm kind of like you. I was like, well, there's your notice. Get out.
Yes, I mean, by the time you go, what's going to be the accomplishment once you go in? I mean.
What I
destroy
don't understand
sites where missiles are fired from?
You've certainly got it's a cat and mouse game. I think that the whole thing was designed to get an invasion in because I think that Hamas has another agenda, and that is that they know that if Israel invades Gaza, then somebody else is going to come in, whether that's Hezbollah, the West Bank, or Iran, and which is kind of what the consensus is. I think of a lot of folks that they're going to provide a lot of aid to it. So it's sort of a cat and mouse game. They want Israel to invade. And I think Israel is being very cautious about that, like rightly so.
Okay.
But the big question for me is they've got 200 hostages, and they've waited now 8 days. And so what's the status of that? Have they just kind of written them off? They're not going to say that. They can't be the official word. But, I mean, shoot, those families are just going, come on, do something. And they are moving very cautiously, and probably rightly so. You can't go in guns a-blazing, so to speak, into a city of 2.5 million or an area that has that many people in it.
And let me get your take on this, fellas, because I want to, I know I've got the way I'm thinking about this, but they're saying, that our country has been slow to react about getting Americans out of Israel. So, and I guess there's, how many, is there like a couple thousand?
No, there's about 200,000 to 300,000 Americans there, mostly dual citizens. But people who have, their parents are American, but they hold an American passport.
See, there you go. 200. I mean,
200,000 to 300,000.
Give me your thoughts about somebody who's complaining that they're not being extracted out of Israel by the United States government. Opinions? Anyone?
I mean, are there people complaining about that? I would imagine that most of those people are actually active combatants and are at the front line, ready to go. Well, a lot of them anyway. With the dual citizenship, they're fighting for Israel.
Okay, so you have those aspects, but maybe this is in reference to those who maybe were not dual citizens and they're just there for like whatever reason, and they tourists or maybe serving in some government form or whatever. And I guess there was a plane load that Ron DeSantis greeted at Tampa airport yesterday of about 200 and some people that were back. So, I guess what I'm asking for is it our responsibility, the United States government, to do? I mean, do we do everything we can to get in there and get people out, or say, or do you just sit there and say, why are you there to start with, or you got yourself there, why don't you get yourself out?
I think that the government has an obligation to protect our citizens, whether they're at home or abroad.
Okay.
And now, are they in danger, imminent danger, right now, being in Israel? I would say it's not a very secure area, but I don't think it's a war zone right now. And so, I mean, are there flights leaving? I don't really know the status of that at this point. Do you know? I mean,
I do not.
Okay, I know that they were restricted at some point, but I don't know that they still are.
The airport in Tel Aviv, I don't know if it's
and
open and
plus
working
too,
or not.
I mean, how many
they got in there somehow and got these people out?
How many hostages does Hamas still have that are Americans? I know that the death toll of Americans that were over there had slowly ticked up a little bit since last week, but that'd be my question. How many hostages are American that are still being held by Hamas right now?
Somewhere around 20 to 30. They just upped it was about 150, I think, yesterday or Saturday, and then either yesterday or this morning they upped the estimate of how many they were holding in total to about 200. 199, I think, was the latest.
So I guess if you're going to try to get somebody out of harm's way, I guess that would be priority number one, is folks being held captive right there. But then again, what can you do, considering there is the conflict going on, the war, so to speak, between those two sides? But diplomatically, don't know if there's a lot you can do. But I know Tony Blinken has been over there a pretty good bit over the last several days. In talks with Benjamin Netanyahu. I know that they were having another meeting this morning, and I think he's going to have some comments later on today around lunchtime. I believe it's going to be about 12 noon, a little press conference, and it'll probably be the same talking points we've heard over the past several days. But there is somewhat of an American presence, at least diplomatically. But as far as what's going to be done on the back end of that,
well,
waiting to be seen on that.
The back end is interesting because they're talking about opening the Rafah gate, which is from Gaza into Sinai, Egyptian territory. And if they do that, and there's going to be a flood of people, and the Egyptians don't want them because they don't know who they are. But they also have to support them. I wonder what the back deal is going to be.
Wait a minute.
The back deal is going to be on that. How many billions in aid will Egypt get for accepting those refugees?
That's a big part of
the
that.
nation of Israel doesn't want the gates open because there's people that will come across the border. Egypt. What I say?
Israel. That's
Israel.
right.
Yeah, Egypt. Because they're afraid they may not know who these people are.
Exactly.
Yay! Welcome to America.
Are you saying
send them over here? Right.
Are you saying
bust them in? Yeah.
Come on. Letting people across your border unchecked could be an existential threat to your country?
That's
Who would have thought?
Is that even possible?
I had no idea.
Has somebody told President Biden this?
No, I don't think there's a lot you can tell him at this point.
Well, see, what was it they said? They were giving the numbers in Fox this morning of the different numbers of nationalities of people that are what's the new term now? We've got aliens of interest or something like that. Is that the new term there?
It's of interest, whether it's aliens or
aliens of interest
or whatever you want to call
it's like
not really immigrants, but
There's a new movie to be made. Is Tommy Lee Jones on contract? Can he do aliens of interest?
Of interest. I'm interested in that one. Ooh, that one's interesting.
But they consist of Iranians, Chinese, people that aren't traditionally thought of coming across the southern border of the United States.
I think potential enemies is really the way we look at that. And who are we not on the best
let's
terms
not use
with?
that strong term.
Not enemies.
Potential enemies? No,
Well,
those are aliens of interest.
They're interesting.
I'm thinking, good night, nurse. How about shut the border down and just say, look, we're done with this, like Egypt said. Anyway, that might be the gate we traveled through when we went to Egypt.
Not through Gaza. No, you went through Eilat probably.
Eilat, is that what we went through?
That way down south by the Red Sea. Yeah, that would be Eilat.
Okay, that's where we went.
And
Our
there's a crossing right there.
Had to sit there and go through the customs and everything, and then finally got on a bus ride to. It was crazy, a bus ride all the way into Cairo, and I don't know what it is about it. They turn their lights off when they're coming and posing traffic at night. I don't understand that. It's just weird. Turn your headlights off when you're passing somebody. At night.
Right. Yeah.
It's offensive to have the headlights on when you're approaching another vehicle in that realm of the country.
Turn your brights off.
No,
Just turn them off completely.
No dimmer switch.
Well.
Boom, lights off.
Where'd he go?
Oh, goodness
Oh,
me.
there he is.
All right, mornings in Meridian. Let's take a phone call here. Our number 601-485-9191. Good morning, caller. Welcome to our show.
You mentioned something about Tommy Lee Jones. Men in Black.
Yes.
All right, Men in Black 4.
Men in Black 4. Is that going to be the new movie?
Yeah.
Of aliens of interest.
Yeah.
Aliens of interest. That's it.
Okay. We got a new movie
I just
roll.
thought about that. From Will Smith.
There you go. Appreciate that. Yeah, Men in Black 4.
All right, y'all have a great morning.
All right. 601-485. You never know what's going to spark a call.
I just wouldn't like to be an uninteresting alien. Like, really? You're just not interesting.
Boring aliens.
We don't care about you.
Be the
boring.
Ben Stein of aliens.
Right. Okay.
Your leader.
Bueller.
Take us to your leader. Your leader.
That's what I'm saying,
Wow.
I tell you what, maybe it'd be time to talk about our good friends at Doc's Toyota. Would that be a good thing to do?
It's always a good time to talk about Doc's. Because there is no deal like a Doc's deal right up the road in Philadelphia, Mississippi. They've got all kinds of 2023 inventory. Camrys, Tacomas, 4Runners, Tundras, Highlanders, Corollas, you name it, Toyota makes it, and they've got plenty of it up there. They've also got a huge selection of pre-owned inventory, and all of the pre-owned inventory has been through the rigorous multi-point Toyota inspection process, so you know it's a good quality car. Check them out online at docstoyota.com. They've got all their inventory there. And what's great about Docs is you can go up there and rent a vehicle, so you can try it out before you buy it. Make sure you love it, and when you do, you go see them at Docs, because there is no deal like a Docs deal. Philadelphia, Mississippi.
There's no deal like a Docs deal. That makes me want to
It's like a little jingle.
I know it. That's good.
Stop that.
Mornings in Meridian. We'll stop jingling. We'll take a break for Fox News. And, of course, Your Money Now. And we'll come back with more. What do you say, Rob?
Let's do it.
You in favor there, Charles?
Okay.
right. How about a little Alabama getaway? Yes, the Grateful Dead. All right, Grateful Dead's Bob Weir, 76 years old today.
Oh, Bobby, 76, is he?
He is. And Charles likes that because I think you've got a stack of these old records in your house somewhere.
Well, I used to have a whole bunch of tapes, but then, the tapes all
Tapes?
just, nobody,
Would these be of the cassette variety or
It
the
would be.
8-track?
No. Well, yeah, the 8-track.
Were you alive? Were you alive in the 8-track era?
Barely, yes.
Yeah, okay. So
Towards the
that's,
end of it.
you're so after
No, the
8-track.
big thing about the Dead was taping their concerts, and the tapes would just kind of circulate. It was, in fact, that is a sort of a marketing technique. I think they inadvertently stumbled upon it that people study now, and they've written books about it, how it kind of created this organic fan base that, just when they traded tapes, listened to it and copied the tapes and so on. So, it really created this phenomena that you see these days, 30 years after Jerry died. Anyway,
Well,
whatever.
there you go.
We won't get on a Grateful Dead tangent.
Well, no, it's a good Grateful Dead tangent. We're talking about Grateful
Okay,
Dead.
Bobby
Bob
Weir,
Weir is
76.
76 years old today. So other birthdays include Bachman Turner Overdrive's bass player F. Turner.
It seems
80.
like every other week we have a BTO birthday.
Well, I'm
There's
glad.
like 37, 40 people in the band.
I think we should congratulate.
Overdrive.
Over.
We should congratulate everyone who makes another trip around the sun.
You're
That's
right
pretty
about
cool.
that, yeah.
That's a great thing.
Especially people in music.
And it's people in music. Yeah.
Bobby Weir.
Just look at how close Suzanne Summers got today to her.
man.
She would have been
One day away.
77 today,
Yeah.
but we lost her over the weekend.
Yeah.
Breast cancer.
Yep. Breast cancer.
Bless her heart. I tell you what, I enjoyed watching her play her little ditzy role there on Three's Company.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I decided in my mind that women don't have to have brains. Just good looks, right?
I'm going to remain silent on this whole conversation.
Okay.
I'm not saying wow.
Okay, all right. No. Just,
What are they going to do with their cake, do you think?
Actually, she was quite smart because she got out of the television, went into her own little physical.
Oh, she had the Thigh Master.
Yep.
Was that it?
I think it
Yep,
was, yeah.
the Thigh
yeah.
Master.
Right, late night commercials, Suzanne Summers.
Look what it's done for me.
Right. It's kind of naughty in a way,
Yeah.
A little bit weird.
Look what it's done for me. Nice,
Sophomore of the 80s
Susan.
there.
Bless your heart. Anyhow,
Anyway, yeah,
she would have been
leave that one
77
alone.
today. Barry Corbin, the actor, he's 83.
Oh.
Yeah, he's been around a couple of times. Northern Exposure's Barry Corbin.
War Games.
Mornings in Meridian. We're glad you're out there. Want you to be part of the show. Caller, stand by because we're going to tell folks about Ready to Roof. Because whenever you need a roof, call somebody who's ready to roof. Don't just listen to any old door knocker coming up there saying he can save you money. Get away. We already called Ready to Roof.
That's right. And they're our only award-winning local roofing company right here in Meridian, and they are ready to fix your roof. They're Master Elite certified. Sounds fancy? And it is, because only 2% of all roofing contractors in the nation have qualified as Master Elite certified. And, of course, they have. You can give them a call today for your free estimate, 601-573-1150. Make an appointment online at ready2roof.com. That is 601-573-1150. When you are ready to roof, they are ready to fix your roof.
Tell me about the financing part.
Well, they have financing options available. Low monthly payments for your brand new roof.
Isn't that great?
It is fantastic.
Those
Can't
things are
beat
not.
it.
If you priced roofing and putting a roof on a home, while they do it well and it's affordable, it still takes a pretty good chunk out of your monthly budget or your annual budget for your home.
Yeah.
So that financing option is a really pretty cool idea.
Yes, it is. Can't beat it.
All right, mornings in Meridian. It's Monday. It's the 16th of October. Oh well, and it feels like fall out there today.
Yep.
I tell you what, the folks that are gearing up for hunting season, they're just chomping at the bit.
It's not going to get out of the 60s today.
Just like the dogs in the pen.
Yep.
Mornings in Meridian. Good morning, caller. How you doing? Welcome to our show.
Good morning, true American patriot.
Hayes.
Good morning, Matt.
Well, you were talking about your sponsors, and
Yeah.
nobody was ever sorry they bought or hired the best because the best will stand the test.
The best will stand the test. I like that.
There you go.
Well, we got some slogans there we can put in here now. Best
I'm
will
taking
stand the
notes.
test. There
You
you go.
write it on the wall.
That's right.
Well, my favorite one still is "Don't be a dumb bunny." So
Were
Yeah,
you
don't be a dumb bunny, man.
were you calling in to
Dumb
give us
bunnies end up the pot with potatoes and carrots and onions.
what was your opinion of Suzanne Summers there on Three's Company?
Oh, I always blonde, tall, beautiful. I mean, checklist complete. All those bad, hateful blonde jokes are written by brunettes and jealous redheads.
Oh, man.
Well, we know they're not written by blondes, right? Some of them are too witty. Yeah.
You know,
Anyway.
they always associate them with
Because they're
being
written.
dingy and a little pitched in the head, but Blades, I mean, we have enough for two people, you know, so just ride along.
Mercy.
But
Glad you survived the weekend. And,
oh yeah, I went to Ham Jam. That turned out pretty nice up
Good.
there. It's a pretty nice thing, and just a beautiful day Saturday. I mean, it was a good day to ride the roads and did a little road riding. But this situation over there in Israel, I don't understand all this concessions and humanitarian and all this mess and giving them 24 hours to evacuate and all. I had a different concept on it, but we need to kind of get up like a football pool. How long it's going to be before America is involved in this? Because it's coming.
Well, that's exactly what we heard at our house this morning, and that is just when is it going to surface here in our country?
Well, we're going to get attacks over here, but I'm talking about American intervention in the Middle East, direct intervention.
And incidentally,
Syria.
the term that I was using before the break was aliens of interest, but it's special interest aliens. That's the term. Special
Oh, yeah.
special interest aliens that are coming across the border, like the 4 Iranians that have been arrested
Yeah,
or detained.
and, well, there's no telling, what's already established and targeted and everything else. Because, I mean, this country suffers from a lack of common sense. You never let the enemy in your camp. You're not. Would you let the devil in your church?
We try
No.
to keep him out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Try to keep the enemy and the disciples out too.
Yeah.
But and here, we send the Secretary of State, and we send these envoys, and everybody's wanting to broker ceasefire and peace. That's what's wrong with it now. Why? So they can go back and retool and regroup and do it again at a later date and continue this? No. The Pope, everybody wants to get involved and be the big peace deal. Look, let them conduct that war. What about the humanitarian? Well, what about the humanitarian of attacking a country, killing innocent people, firing thousands of rockets into a sovereign nation? What about that humanity?
Well, it's
And most of these people
you mentioned
preaching
that.
this humanity crap ain't nothing but
Yeah.
hypocrites know-how.
I liked one story that came from a Fox News reporter. He was talking about the one of the guys that's serving in the Israeli Defense Force, and he said, last week I was at home with our newborn. I was holding my newborn, but I'm in the reserves, and next thing I know, I'm out here at war. I mean, they didn't ask for this.
Oh, no. So, but what's going to happen? Iran's going to fuel Syria and Lebanon with war materials and troops, whatever they need. Iran's got missiles that'll reach Israel. They may not have nukes on them, but they'll reach Israel. And once Iran gets involved, we'll be involved. They're sending another carrier group over there. That's a lot of firepower. That's a lot of firepower. But,
And you think about Iran, whatever, how you want to say that
Tomato,
country.
tomato.
But I firmly believe, obviously, indirectly, they're involved now. I would be.
Sure they are.
I'm totally convinced of that. But,
Sure they are.
the
Where
puppet
these
master.
people buy this? Where these people buy these Katusha rockets
Yeah.
and all this stuff? They got a Walmart over there that sells that.
Probably do. Somewhere in Lebanon, they've got one.
Yeah.
So.
Hello, I'm Sam Walton, and if you're getting low on
It's
firearms,
more of a Sam's than a Walmart. You know,
that's
you buy in
Sam's.
bulk.
Yeah, that's something you buy in bulk. Yeah.
surface-to-air missiles. There you go. Get
Oh,
your
yeah.
Sam's at
Aisle
Sam's.
4.
If Israel wants to avoid this in the future, they're going to have to scorch the earth. And people squalling about them civilians, they're all in it together, man. They all read the same book. Whether they're out there with an AK-47 or cheering them on, they're still the enemy.
And
And the next person that tells me, well, my own God's children, I think I'm just going to slap the piss out of them. That's wrong.
oh yeah, okay.
There'll be a lot of slapping. Yeah.
You know,
line them up.
Yeah.
Well,
We are
I'm
not
thinking-
all God's children. So
Well-
just get over that.
How
But-
about
I
Some
think-
Sunday school myth, lore, and lie sounds great. Okay. But what works is force and power. And them Israelis, once they launch this, I don't know why they're holding back.
yeah? Some
But
say it's
once they
because
launch
America. Some say it's because America's encouraging them to. Do you think there's anything to that?
Well,
That probably is. Probably is. And some back channel, it probably is. And that is the goddamn problem. Stay out of this. This is nothing to you.
Oh, but now you have college campuses erupting with demonstrations and demonstrations
Yeah,
for
and
the Palestinian state.
Them people that are condoning that attack on Israel, they need to be in another country. Maybe they need to be over there with Hamas. You know, maybe they need to be on the receiving end of a Galil or Uzi. Yeah,
Well,
because we don't need you over here.
I think the.
We don't need you over here.
I hear you. All right. Well, listen. You've made yourself perfectly clear here this morning. You're very outspoken this morning, and in a lot. Here's
I
what
don't believe in holding back.
I know that.
It don't matter what the situation is. If you want to be involved in it or committed to it, sound off on it. Don't be a sheep. Be a lion.
Ooh.
And a lion's got a roar. But I want God to put the roar in the lion. Let's see what you got. Take you to the dirt. Roger that.
Oh wow! There you go. A lot of people out there I run into hear him on the show, and they don't want to openly say it, but they can confidentially say they agree with him. So hear a lot of things, but he shares the same concern that I brought up this morning, and that is. What is the reason behind all of this signaling of what you're going to do? You know, if you're in a war to win it, there's a lot of things that you're not really supposed to. I mean, it's just amazing. Now we have all these reporters over there. We've got the coverage 24/7. What's going on in Israel? How do you fight a war like that?
Well, and you talk about winning this war. How do you win this war? And even if you kill all the Hamas and you are actually able to get into Gaza with minimal civilian casualties and destroying the entity of Hamas, which is tens of thousands. I mean, how many militants or terrorists were killed coming over the border from Gaza into Israel?
Yeah.
It was a couple of thousand.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know how big the operation was, but okay, so say you've got that, but what is the long-term goal of Israel, and where are they going to be in 10 years if they kill 10 or 15 or 20,000 of these terrorists?
Well, is not the conflict over land possession? Is that what the conflict's over?
Yeah, it is.
Palestinians want their land back. Is that
from the 1948 war? Yeah,
yeah. That's what this has all been about. It's
of
been
course.
the
displacement.
70-some
and
years.
the British had a big role in it, and the French and various other people, and it.
But then wasn't that set up as kind of an appeasement for that, so the Palestinians have their land, or?
It was, but it has been, kind of on lockdown since 2007. With restrictive movement in and out, very high unemployment, very high youth unemployment. 75%, 19 to 29-year-olds are unemployed, and so that's kind of this recipe for a lot of civil unrest. Now, Israel has also cordoned this off because of multiple terrorist attacks, multiple missile launches, all of these things. And so it's kind of been created, in a sense, by the Palestinians as well. It's kind of been, I wouldn't say their own doing, but it was their actions that caused the Israelis to take this action. Israel wants peace. I mean, I don't think they want war. They don't want to exist in a constant state of war, which they have been since almost 1948. I mean, with varying degrees. I mean, you've got the two big wars, 67 and 73.
Subsequently, they have become
the Intifadas and so on.
They have become very, very professional and capable of being able to defend a very small country.
Right, probably the best military force in the world.
Let's take a phone call, 601-485-9191. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Has it right. At the very least, they're cheering them on. So innocent, I don't know that would be the proper term for the people.
Innocent, which people?
Palestinians,
Oh, okay.
Gaza. I mean, they would not be there otherwise. I think the simple solution is something we should have done years ago. I can remember studying history when Ronald Reagan was in office and Muammar Gaddafi was a problem there in Libya. And he explained to him he was going to send him a letter in the morning. He did, right into his bedroom, a rocket. So, and then all of a sudden he was cooperative from there on. So I think the simple solution, unfortunately, is to take Lebanon and just say, well, look, in the morning, it's not going to exist anymore, okay? Period. It's gone. And then ask who's next.
Was
and
that
handle back on
help me remember
security.
my history? Was that missile attack in response to the Lockerbie disaster, the hijacking, the bomb that went off on the airliner? Was that what that was?
Yes, sir. And then if you remember before that, when Reagan got sworn in, simultaneously, you remember Iran had hostages. We had the Iran.
Yeah.
Okay. What did they do when Reagan got sworn in? They were on the way back. Okay. We give you your people back. Okay. So they understand only one thing. Okay. That's all they understand. We can't buy their appeasement. We can't do anything to change their way of thinking. We've been over there trying to change them for years, decades. We're not going to change. So the only thing they know is strength.
Well, I was sitting there wondering about that.
Even with the ones in power, that you notice they never strap on any bombs and go blow up anything. It's always the people they send, or somebody is drinking the Kool-Aid. It's never somebody in charge that does that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ones I think that are in charge are back in Qatar or wherever they are, and just I don't think they're lifting cocktails because I don't think they drink. But they
maybe.
If we leave,
not like Baptists.
If we do not tie Israel's hands, Israelis know how to handle the problem without question.
But why, if that's the case, then why are we having this lengthy delay of invasion and making sure that everybody has been signaled as to what the Israelis are about to do?
I don't understand that. I mean, you tell your enemy what you're going to do. Usually they find out after it's over.
Well, I think it's the long game. I think they want to do as much surgical strikes as they can, and to mitigate the civilian population.
How many guilty people, Charles? How many guilty people are evacuating?
Yeah, and that's a good question. Well, none of them right now because nobody's leaving at this point. They don't have an exit. But the problem is that if they kill 100,000 civilians, then the outrage in the Arab world is going to be tremendous. And I think you're going to see all of the Sunnis and Shias coming together saying, wait a minute, you don't do this to our people. And then you've got a real issue. And so I think Israel is actually playing it very smart. But, I mean, the delay is a concern for everybody because you're right. They're giving them time to, create all these bombs and everything else they need to defend themselves against this impending attack. And, it's kind of setting up for it. They're hiding the hostages so they can't be found. I'm sure they had them hit anyway, but I mean, moving them around.
I promise
it's
Israel knows where those hostages
Well, you say that, but they didn't know the attack was coming. So you wonder how sophisticated their intelligence apparatus is at this point within Gaza. I mean, you would hope so. I think that they have one of the best in the world as far as Mossad and the internal one as well. But I don't know. There's a lot of questions as to how they didn't know that 3,000 guys were going to cross the border and attack. There was no.
Somebody was asleep at the wheel.
You're right about that. Yeah.
Israel. Somebody was asleep at the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Because listen, when you start slaughtering children,
yeah.
guess what? Let's take the handcuffs off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's over.
Yeah.
You're
All right.
done. End of story. We're gonna write you down in the history books. It's
And
over.
you're no longer going to exist.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, no longer going to exist. Listen, that's all they understand. I promise, no smarter than I am, if you go over there and wipe a whole damn country out, the rest of them will get in line. They don't want to go away. But you got, unfortunately, to make a point. And Patsy is not the way to do it. That hadn't worked. We tried that. I mean, look, we just give them $6 billion. Or I say we. Your President Biden did. So, I mean, what are we gonna do? We're gonna give them $6 billion, and say, man, we're gonna spend $600 billion to fight them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, all right, sir.
How stupid is that? Listen, I'm listening in, guys.
Hey, we appreciate it.
I'm getting frustrated.
I know.
It's very frustrating.
That's what happens. I appreciate the call, though, and then we thank you for sharing your frustrations on our station. But here's what you need to do. This is maybe not as serious as the carnage over there, but you're going to get attacked by poor plumbing one of these days at your home. And you've got to take, you've got to use your intelligence. You've got to make sure that you are prepared for any attack of bad plumbing you might have at your home.
The attack of bad plumbing. The invasion of bad plumbing. Well, there is only one place to go for all of your plumbing woes, and that is Barber & Sons Plumbing, 1123 26th Avenue.
That's what the attack of bad plumbing smells like.
What's that smell in the spare room?
Febreze in here or something. Jeez.
Yeah.
601-482-7023. Go see Gary Barber and, of course, Gayla Gartman, his sister. They've got every plumbing part available. Everything that you would need. Just take a picture or bring that old part in, and they will not only sell you the right part, they'll show you how to fix it as well. They don't do that at the big box stores. Plus, you get the wrong part there anyway. So you need to go to Barber & Sons Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 80 years. I think they invented indoor plumbing. 1123 26th Avenue. Give them a call, 601-482-7023.
All right, we got about a minute before the break. Time for a quick, don't need the call because the caller's not there, so that's fine. Oh, there they are. Let's do a quick 1-minute phone call. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning. I was just calling, all these lovely countries over there, they talk about how much they care for the Palestinian people, but yet none of them want them coming into their country or even want to allow them in the country because they want to keep the conflict going. And how many other countries would allow 30 of their citizens, it's approximately 30 Americans been killed now. I think they've actually said that. And we know where the leader of Hamas is, sitting in a freaking basically 5-star hotel in Qatar or Qatar.
Yeah.
I mean, we could shut the freaking oil off to Qatar. They're a little bitty country. They got tons of money, and they might say, "Here, y'all can have his, you know what?"
There you go. All right.
How many other countries?
The State Department called. They want you on their staff. Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for the call. 601-485-9191. Call us when we come back. We're going to go to Fox News.
Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Mornings in Meridian. Welcome, folks. It is the second hour of the two best hours of local live talk radio right here in East Mississippi and West Alabama. That's right, good old-fashioned terrestrial radio coming to you from the towers of WALT 102.1 FM, but also online at
WALTmeridian.com and on Facebook this morning as well, WALT Talk Radio. Like us, follow us. YouTube as well. YouTube. And
YouTube.
I also forgot to mention this earlier, but you can always tell your Alexa device to play WALT now. That's also a command on your Alexa, so you can, on your smart speakers in your office or wherever, you just say, hey, Alexa, play WALT, and
I
boom.
got kids for that.
There we go.
Darn it.
Alexa, wow.
It's
Okay.
everywhere, man.
Alicia, play play that Walt for me.
Play Walt. We want lots of Walt.
There we go.
Careful what you wish for.
Remember that Saturday Night Live skit of different people not pronouncing Alexa right?
Yeah.
Alexandra, can you play? Oh well, I'm sorry, I did not understand your command. That's why I had to turn her off, because she just kept saying, "Sorry, I did not understand that."
You know, it's interesting because I have, obviously.
And Charles Frazier, hey, good morning.
Oh, yes.
Just
sorry.
kind of getting around and introducing everybody.
I'm in. But going back to the Alexa thing, we have had at various points 3 or 4 Alexis girls at the restaurant, named that. And I think, and which I always say, hey, Alexis, what's the weather? But I don't think anybody is named Alexa anymore. That's the least popular girl's name.
I would think. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right up there
In the
with,
last 10 years.
wouldn't it be interesting for somebody who has a couple of daughters and one of them is named Alexa and the other is named Siri?
Oh, that would be strange. Yeah.
Siri? Yes.
Alexa?
What?
That's what I'm waiting for out of my phone. Is, hey, Siri, what do you want now?
What?
What is it, Roger?
I've always said you need to have Morgan Freeman as your Google Maps. You take a turn right here at this driveway.
Yes, Miss Daisy.
Now, this road was once used in the Confederacy.
I don't care. Just tell me where to go.
It would be nice to have voices like that you could select. Of course, I think the British
Gilbert Gottfried.
the British accent guy that's pretty cool.
I have an Indian guy on mine. I don't know why. And
Is that right?
Yeah, I've kind of kept it there. I kind of randomly came across it.
On your Google Maps direction guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that like getting technical support
It
perpetually?
is exactly like it. I feel like it's comforting. I'm on hold for a while, and then it starts kicking in.
It's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry for we're not really. We love all races, creeds, colors, and sexes here at Mornings in Meridian. But
How many? There's only 2 sexes though, but both of them.
But
we
yeah,
love.
both of them.
Right.
Now, I'm glad you
Just
said
clarifying.
that, because I firmly believe that, because that's exactly what was created at the very beginning, was 2 sexes. So take that, everybody, liberal. Never mind. Okay. Don't get me going down that path there.
Sorry.
Anyhow, Mornings in Meridian, we're glad you're there. We want you to be part of the show, 601-485-9191. And, of course, we want to say this show is brought to you in part by our good friends at Southern Business Supply.
That's right. And the best place to shop at Southern Business Supply is, of course, online at southernbusinesssupply.com. They've got a great showroom, though, down there on Dale Drive, 5685 Dale Drive in Marion, which shows they've got a great selection of furniture, office furniture, just everything you need to equip your office. And, of course, their strength is office supply. And what's wonderful about them is, if I order something from Amazon, it's there 2 days later. But why send my money out there? No, keep it here in state, shop local. And if you order from southernbusinesssupply.com, it is there the next day. Quicker than Amazon and cheaper, too, for that matter. Staples, paper, all janitorial supplies, office supplies. They've even got those big 5-gallon spring water coolers, break room supplies, full lines of office furniture and home office furniture as well. So check them out online at southernbusinesssupply.com. Of course, you can call them 601-485-2447 or go visit them on Dale Drive, 5685 Dale Drive, right here in Marion, Mississippi. Buy local and your money stays here.
Well, guys, it looks like Jim Jordan needs 17 votes. And the biggest question is, can he get 17 votes to become the next Speaker of the House? So there's a lot of wheeling and dealing being done today in Washington.
Washington. Okay.
Or, as I like to say, the Republican Party is just simply embarrassing me right now.
Well, so are the Democrats. So, I mean, I think.
So we're getting embarrassed by both parties.
Right. Are we proud of either
Okay,
of them?
let's
at
put it this
point?
way. Right now, our government is an embarrassment.
Yeah, I'd say so. That sums it up nicely.
All I can say is I know there's an expected vote tomorrow.
Which should have been done last week, but when Scalise didn't have, when he saw the writing on the wall, then he got out of it. And then Friday they have more meetings, and then they need that many votes to get on board. And almost half of those are going to be the ones who basically ousted the previous speaker. So, the Matt Gaetz folks.
Oh, Mr. Gates.
Yeah.
The Democrats are loving this. They're loving watching how the Republicans can't get their act together, cannot unite, can't do something in unison. And it's embarrassing that we can't do that because we're just signaling, I think, to the entire nation, to the entire world, that once there is a party called Republican in power, they don't know how to use it.
Nope.
601-485-9191. Good morning, caller. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Good morning. Yeah, it's sad that when the Republican Party can't get their act together and Hakeem Jeffries thinks he's got a shot at being Speaker of the House, and as backwards and stupid the Republicans are trying to figure things out, it could possibly happen. I don't see it happening. But you wouldn't have to turn but a few moderate Republicans, and you could have Hakeem back as the Speaker of the House. That would just be wonderful.
Yeah. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Well, see, here's... go ahead.
About the Middle East over there, are we over there with our aircraft carriers protecting Israel, quote, or protecting the flow of oil? And I know we should be protecting Israel, where God's chosen people, and we should be over there, and they're only democracy over there. But, you know, if we had the previous president in office right now, we would be energy independent and not have to worry about everybody else's oil. But, you know, the people we have in charge now, they just seem to do everything backwards, and they literally hate the United States.
Well, I think, okay, there you go. Yeah, the two aircraft carriers, I think the Eisenhower and the Gerald Ford, I think, are the ones in the Mediterranean, and I think they're not necessarily that we're going to jump into action, but it is a show of strength and showing that if anybody else tries something, that there's going to be...
Ike and Jerry.
Yeah, Ike and Jerry. We got Ike and Jerry.
Hey, Ike. Let's send Ike.
I mean, don't you think that's why we have aircraft carriers there? It's really just a kind of, it's more of a show at this point? Or
I think it's part of it. I think it's also immediate. I mean, you've got it right there. So if something happens, tomorrow, the next day, then we don't have to wait for those convoys to get there.
So if...
The carrier groups, whatever they're called, yeah.
Let's go hypothetical here. If part of the chess game that's being played out there right now is, and that's what this is, because you said the word, I think, the
long game,
the
end
long
game, yeah.
The long game, end game. That's a big term for in chess. If it is to draw the U.S. into the conflict, what will it take? What will it take over there for the U.S. to launch airplanes, launch missiles, and get involved in this conflict?
That's a good question. I think Hezbollah gets involved, and even the West Bank, the Palestinians on the PLO side of the West Bank. If they get involved, I don't think that would be enough. But I think if Iran has direct involvement with it, if the missiles are launched from Tehran or from Iran somewhere, and or there's other proof of direct involvement, they're sending troops or something like that, then I think the U.S. may send troops. I don't know if that would involve attacks or how that would kind of play out, but. Or if Israel's very existence is threatened by all of these other attacks. I don't see how that would be possible unless they, put all those troops into the 300,000 they've amassed at the Gaza border. If they put them all in Gaza, then what do you have left? I mean, I don't know what their standing army is. I'd imagine that's about half of it that's being amassed right there. So they certainly have a few 100,000 more troops in reserve and in various other, kind of capabilities. But how much can they take? How many sides of a war can they fight at one time? And I don't think that we would let their existence be threatened that way.
Okay.
So that would be me. I think that's the line in the sand.
Say Israel's about to fall. What do we do? That kind of thing. So
we
then
intervene.
We intervene. All right, because I think Blinken made it clear in his speech, saying that as long as there's an Israel, well, I don't know. That could be taken several different ways. The U.S. As long as there's Israel, there's going to be U.S. Or as long as what do you say? As long as there's the United States, there'll be an Israel.
Yeah,
that was pretty.
It's pretty clear.
Pretty clear right there.
I don't think it has much to do with oil, though, as the other caller said. I mean, all of that area does, and there's always a concern because there's so much over there. But I think it's more of just supporting the state of Israel.
Yeah, and there's a lot of theology that can be debated now, whether that piece of dirt over there is, ordained by God at this point, being God's chosen people versus God's got chosen people all around the world now.
You mean Israel's right to exist there? Is that what you're
suggesting? No, not Israel's right
okay.
to exist, but having a special, there's a lot of theological debate whether that mass of people is God's chosen people at this point. So that's just, that was one thing the caller said before that. Anyway, let's take another phone call, 601-485-9191. Good morning, caller. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Hey, Miss Ruth.
Good morning.
Is this Ruth?
Yes.
Alive and kicking.
I'm getting better.
Good to hear you.
I'm still,
Did I say that? It's good to hear her. I said that.
I recorded it.
Anyway, let's focus on local problems for a while here.
Yeah, good idea.
Let's do it. Come on.
Before we focus on the problem, let's focus on the fact that Hispanic Heritage Month began, I think it was September 15th, and it ends today. It was September 15th to October 15th. So it officially, the president gave the proclamation and all of that. So it officially ends today, but they've decided to extend it, that we just need to focus more, some more time on, I think there are about, 33 Hispanic countries. Well, you're in a Hispanic country if your language is Spanish. And I think there are about 33 of them. But I think for the Meridian nights, we probably have more Mexicans here than any other Hispanic group. I'm not sure, but I think so. Thinking, looking at the restaurants and things like that. And so what we just do, just focus on all of the contributions that all of the various groups have made to make this country number one. The reason why there is just nobody on the planet like us is because there are so many people who bring to bear all kinds of ideas, different kinds of ideas. It doesn't seem that way, that we're always arguing and carry on. But that's one of our strengths. And so with the Hispanics, with the Mexicans, they like to be called Chicanos. So I think that's the first thing we can do. We can start saying, that they are Chicano, because being Mexican, you're just from Mexico, that's all. But I think there's some other stuff that...
Now, who do we...
just call them Americans.
We call who? Chicanos?
They're called Chicanos, Mexicans. Now, remember now, there are 33 Hispanic countries.
Right, okay.
All right, and there are 33.
33 of them are there.
That their language is Spanish, but when we start focusing,
and there might be some of those 30. There might be some of those 33 countries that don't like you lumping them together like that.
Well, but that's what it is. Hispanic means that your language is Spanish.
Okay.
So
and that you have a culture. Yeah. There are some differences in the culture.
Spain might say, well, there's one Spanish country.
Hispanic, we're Spanish.
That's right. Yeah. Spain might say, well, there's only one Spanish country. Anyway, yes.
Yeah, well, no, there's three. But anyway, back to locals now. I think Mexicans are probably the majority Hispanic group in our town. Mm-hmm. But anyway, as I said before, when we went through the 60s and we had these name changes like African Americans, and you don't want to say Negro and this and this. So it is with Hispanic people in their various countries, and from Mexico, the cultural. When we start talking about Mexicans, we're talking about Chicanos.
Chicanos. You keep saying you like that word
Chicago, but
Chicanos.
Chicano. Well, that's it.
What if
They
you're
chose
from
it.
Chicago
That's
and
what
Chicano?
they want. That's what they want to be called.
I would probably feel a lot more comfortable having a Hispanic call me and tell me what Hispanics want to be called.
Well, wait just a minute.
Well, let me ask you, because you're
No. But
let me ask you a question, Ruth. Let me ask you a question. Let me make sure I get this right. Let me start with this. Make sure I get this right. We have a heavy black population in Meridian and Lauderdale County. What is it What is it that? And you are part of that population, correct?
Of course.
Tell me what you like to be called by me, a white person. What do you like for me to refer to you as far as anything like race or skin color?
Well, I'm a black race, but then when we start talking about
Well, you said what? I didn't understand that.
Wait just a minute.
No, I didn't hear.
No,
What?
I said I'm black.
Okay,
I'm
so
black.
we would say
But
black.
wait
Okay,
just a minute. But what I want to say is that
I just want to make sure I got
like
it.
the term. Wait just a minute. The terms that were but you're absolutely
Wait,
correct.
wait.
because there are some people. Wait, let me finish this statement. There are some blacks who do not want to be Black Americans do not want to be called African Americans. I do. And I think the thing about it is you have to look at the educational aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if somebody were to do a study, you would find that the higher up the educational ladder you go, you're going to have more people who prefer to be called African American. And the reason why that came about is because for so many years, our country, especially in the 60s, our country was doing all kinds of things to have Black Americans, I think we called black at that time, being very ashamed of their African heritage.
So if I were
of their African heritage, and it makes no difference.
Confusing.
Whether you put the watermelon, if you put it in Mississippi, or you get it, from Timbuktu or something, it's still a watermelon. You can call it whatever it is you want to call it. And the fact of the matter is that that's our origin. Africa is, and we need to be honoring our ancestors. Not now. I remember, like even now.
So if I was writing a paper and I was saying I have a friend who calls my radio station. Her name is Ruth, and she is. I would put African American, right?
Absolutely.
She is an African American.
In the 60s, of course. And very proud to be that way. I mean, like I said,
and it's okay. So what you're saying? Let me clear this up. I want to make sure I have it. I want it locked in here because I want to be educated. I would say that my friend Ruth Jones is an African American. She is part of the black race in our area.
I'm not part of the black race.
She's a member of the black race.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and I would
whose origin is in Africa.
Well, I said that earlier when I said when I write about you and I say my friend Ruth, she's an African American. She is a member of the black race in Lauderdale County.
Well, and we didn't just fall from the sky, We have this heritage. There's no point in trying to get away from your heritage, and it's
no. I'm just
we came from Africa.
All I'm asking, all I'm asking is I want to make sure that the terminology used is what would be considered socially and properly accepted.
Yeah, like I said, but you also have to remember now that there are some blacks who do not want to be called African American. You have to remember that part. But
so then, how would I know that? See, that's the problem. How would I know that? I wouldn't know that.
But don't worry. But even why would you even be dealing with it? Deciding whether.
Well, no. If I was saying, say it was somebody else, is my.
But when I talk to you, do I start talking about what is it? Your heritage is it Irish or what is it? German or what?
Yeah, you hit them both. You hit them both. I'm Irish German. Yeah, that was good.
Oh, Irish German.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I talk to you, do we ever get into a conversation of my worrying about what you're hearing, whether you're Irish or whether you're German or this sort of thing?
So,
conversation.
Yeah. So what?
You start talking about other things.
So what I could say in the case of Ruth Jones, I could simply say, she is an American, a member of the black race in Lauderdale County.
No. You see, this is why we're having problems. I do not know why the majority group
I'm confused.
always wait. Let me tell you, always want to be forcing.
Just like I'm an
what they
American.
want.
I'm an American and I'm white.
No, they want to be no.
And you're American
the
and
majority
black.
group wants to be focusing what they want onto people, and there are people who don't want.
No. My conversation, Ruth. I'm not one to put what I want to say. I'm asking what's proper so that I make sure that I refer to people in the way
No,
that.
but I've already told you that I want to be called African American. How many times do I have to say that, Roger?
Okay.
I told you that.
But then you said.
Let's get back to the.
But then you
Hispanic
said there are
people,
some
please.
people that don't want to be called that.
Yes.
So then it leaves somebody like myself confused, because if I'm referring to another person who's black and I say African American, they don't like that, then it's offensive. I didn't know that was offensive until I said it. See,
I think the real question is why, if we don't identify Rogers German and Irish, why must we identify anybody that way? What's the relevance? Aren't we all just Americans? Can't we just kind of do that? Why do we have to have the prefixes in front of it? Whether that's the Chicanos that we're talking about, and
that's the ideal thing to do. But the fact of the matter is, you have to go back. You cannot rise above your history. And what has happened?
Can't
in
rise
our
above your
country,
history.
God bless.
Don't know what that means.
In our country, all kinds of horrible things have happened to black people, and people have tried to make, even with the president talking about the shit countries or something in Africa, even today, that nut is still talking about. He needs to go. I knew when he made that statement that he had never, ever been to an African country, because if he were to go to these African countries, it is true that you have these lots and lots of really, really poor people. But it is also true that they have more money. There are a few of them who have more money than Trump will ever see. And that is never, ever, nobody focuses on that. Nobody focuses on the fact that you got all of these African billionaires and trillionaires. You would just think, when you start thinking about Africa, you're thinking about these people who are there, poor,
well, how about
and this. And,
how about if I refer to? How about if I refer to somebody who is Hispanic as? Here's one, guys. Hispanic. What if I just say they're Hispanic?
or if they're American, just call them American. Why do we have to designate anything?
Well, once I know they're Americans, I'll
why do we have to subcategorize?
No, but you're talking about
it's a person, male, female. We don't even know that these days, though.
Well, Ruth, as much as I can say, I was glad to hear your voice. I am glad to hear your voice, but once again, you have come into us like a Tower of Babel experience, and we're just as confused, more confused now than when you started.
No, look it up. No, you can look it up. You can see that Mexicans are called Chicanos.
They're called Hispanic.
I didn't put it out there.
They're called Hispanic.
Well, they're both. They're called Hispanic. Yeah, because they have that.
All right.
Like I'm called in it.
All right.
Wait, let's
I've got a lot of friends that are. I have some friends from Mexico, and I'll ask them. I'll check this out. I'll check this out.
There's one more important thing. Dr. Andrea, Germany is back in town. Remember, we said way back when.
Who's that?
She's there. She's at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
She was in Canada at the time. She is the one who teaches social there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about the rape problem here in the States, where you got women and girls are being raped every 7 minutes by somebody that's usually a relative of theirs or somebody that they know. And so what we said, you probably forgot, Roger, that she should come and tell us about what is going on in our town and in our county. She would know. So she is back in town now. I received a call from her on my voicemail. I want to call her to ask her to call you, Roger.
Okay.
So that she can come in and let's talk about our local problems and what we can do to help. Because there are girls in this town that are suffering.
All right.
They've got all kinds of horrible things that are happening to them at the hands of their fathers and stepfathers and brothers and all kinds of.
All right, sounds good. We got another caller coming behind you, Ruth. We got another caller coming behind you, but thank you for checking in with us today.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Ruth.
Mornings in Meridian, 601-485-9191. 9191. Good morning, caller.
Oh, good morning.
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Good. 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 Pretty good. Just inspired by Ruth there to give you all a call this morning.
Didn't
Ruth is inspiring.
Inspiring. There you go. And you were perspired to give us a call. Okay, good.
Yeah, she inspired me. Thank you, Ruth. I had a question now because I've got a friend and he's actually from Africa, South Africa, Johannesburg, and he's white.
Yeah.
Now, he's an African American because he's gone through all the citizenship tests and now he's an American.
Right. Yeah.
And I was
As so
thinking,
many
well,
people who do become Americans, that's what
And
happens.
call him black. I mean, I don't know if y'all can need your eyes checked, but they look brown to me. Not really black, it's so much brown.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the term African American just kind of creates more division.
Yeah.
I mean, the country of origin is America. They were born here.
Yeah.
They're American.
Well, I mean, it's. I think we kind of understand the common courtesies, and we can recognize what we need to call folks that may not be the same race we are, and that's just with Ruth bringing this up, I just thought it might be good to kind of explore what she thought was proper.
There's also one more thing too. Neither of you guys y'all mentioned. My dad calls them colored people.
Well, that was an old term. That's exactly right.
And I don't know. I don't use that myself.
No, it's not
that
what's
one's probably pretty offensive.
No, but you have heard them say on the news, like when the president is selecting a vice president or certain people for office, they do say it'll be a person of color. They do use that term widely.
Well, I think that gives it the opportunity for Hispanics or Chicanos, depending on how you want to define them.
Yeah.
But also Indians or other people of color.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't every person a person of color unless they're like invisible? I suppose they're a ghost.
Albino.
Are we peach?
Yeah.
We're not really white either. I mean, kind of peach maybe. Red.
It's interesting. Good social studies here this morning.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, God bless y'all and God bless Meridian.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We got to get this break in. We got to get a break in here. We'll be back. It's Mornings in Meridian. Roger along with Charles. Rob's in the house.
Hello.
And you. We'll be right back. Yes, indeed. ZZ Top. No birthdays, just wanted to hear some LaGrange.
Oh, okay.
Mornings in Meridian, Roger, along with Rob.
Hello.
Also, Mr. Charles Frazier.
Still here.
Still here.
They're trying to leave, and the door was locked.
The door was locked in.
It's a fire hazard.
It's
I'm pretty sure.
9 o'clock. It'll open up
Magically
there.
opens. Yeah.
I tell you what, you hear that sound every once in a while that will make a preacher cuss, and that's the one where that rock hits that windshield, and you need to know where to go. Well, you really don't need to know where to go because we've been telling you for years A&A Glass is the place to have your glass fixed fast.
And apparently everybody in town knows it because they are the #1 glass replacement company here in town and have been for, I think, 12 years running now. They are located conveniently at 217 22nd Avenue, or as Rob likes to say, Cela Ward Parkway.
Yes.
Give them a call, 601-693-GLASS. They will beat any price in town. They'll work with your insurance company. And, of course, they've got great T-shirts over there. Just friendly folks. Adam and Adam. Go see him. A&A Glass open 8 to 4, Monday through Friday, 217 22nd Avenue, 601-693-GLASS.
It's Mornings in Meridian, and, of course, we want to hear from you. Our number, 601-485-9191.
See where Biden canceled his trip to Colorado today? He was supposed to go out right into, was it Lauren Bobart's district there in Colorado?
Is he going to go to a play?
And well, it was about wind towers manufacturing, and he called off the trip like literally at the last minute because of what's going on in Israel right now. So that's what the White House is saying right now. So
what is he going to do about what's going on in Israel?
Well, from the AP, it says that he wants to stay in Washington and focus on the growing conflict in the Middle East, setting aside an opportunity to pitch his economic accomplishments as he runs for re-election. So
pitch his
economic accomplishments. That's what the AP said.
That's a knuckleball. I don't know what kind of pitch that is.
That's what the trip to Colorado was about?
The trip to Colorado, he was heading to Bobart's district where he was to visit the world's largest facility for wind tower manufacturing. The White House said just a few hours before he was set to take off on the trip, that's when it was rescheduled because he wanted to stay in Washington and focus on what's going on in the Middle East right now. So I guess he was going to pitch his economic accomplishments at a wind tower facility.
Wind, hot air.
These towers that have the big propellers that turn?
I'm assuming so.
What those
like
are?
a windmill
that litter the landscape in the Midwest that used to be a nice open prairie and plain, and now it's scattered with these windmills.
Said Biden is expected to hold a series of high-level meetings with aides of Israel and the growing humanitarian concerns in Gaza, is what the story says here.
Wow.
So,
okay.
So that's probably where we're going to be going as far as U.S. involvement is the humanitarian part of Gaza. It'll be money for humanitarian aid there. Is that what we're being set up for?
Yeah. The thing is that the Gaza exists on humanitarian aid anyway. I mean, they have been for, really since 2007. I think that 80% of their economy is based on humanitarian aid. It's just they're constantly getting stuff in. So, obviously, they need more, and Israel kind of closed the spigots off for everything: fuel, water, power, of course. So I think that they've turned the water back on, which is good, and I think that was the right decision. I think that the delay in the attack meant that they kind of had to. Plus, the fact that the crossing into Sinai is still closed. But hopefully that'll open up and they can.
Yeah, as of this story this morning, the numbers as far as U.S. citizens, they are saying at least 30 U.S. citizens have died during this war so far, and 13 still remain missing. That's according to the State Department as of that story this morning.
And what's the projected number of hostages that are American? Because it's about 30, I think, and that may be the 30 that are still missing. Okay,
yeah, those
so
are
they
missing,
can't confirm that they're hostages, but that would be the assumption.
Exactly.
Okay. I have an interesting report about what Russia has said about the.
I'm glad you got that.
Yeah.
The Russians
share that.
And there was a list of countries and their reaction to the Israeli airstrikes in Gaza after, of course, the massacre that the Hamas terrorists conducted last Saturday. So Russia. And this is not a quote, but Russia has stressed the Israeli-Palestinian conflict cannot be resolved by force, but through political and diplomatic means. This is Russia. Political and diplomatic means. Russia called for an immediate ceasefire. Okay, Russia. Renouncing violence. And a negotiation process with international community assistance to establish lasting peace in the Middle East.
What is Putin's suggestion for dealing with conflicts? What's he suggest they do?
They renounce violence.
And here's Ukraine going, hey, wait a minute!
What? Renounce? What?
Doing?
What do you mean renounce violence?
All right, we're getting good international advice from
the
Kremlin now.
Right, okay. Jeez. And nobody paid attention to that. Except the Ukrainians, who were outraged.
They're like, what the heck is that? What?
Can we do some of that over here? What do you think?
Mr. Putin, the world is waiting for us to respond to the Israeli attacks. What do we say? What's the word from Russia on this? Well, just tell them we are against violence and it needs to be resolved peacefully.
Violence. Yeah, negotiation. Come on.
But excuse me, Mr. Putin, but we got Ukraine. It's Ukraine.
Different. That's ours. You know, that's his response.
But the world will laugh at us when we say this.
At least three bozos in Mississippi will, but beyond the rest of the world, who knows?
And now, why, Mr. Putin, are you now sending me to Siberia? It's like,
I do not like the cold.
Bad advice, right?
Man,
just put out what I said. We think that it should be. Problems in the world need to be solved with peace and talks. Negotiations.
Right. Except Ukraine. But, everything else should be.
It just so happens
it applies to us.
It just so happens that Putin's his way of negotiating is I'll take over half your country and then negotiate whether I'll let you keep the other half.
Exactly. That's the negotiation. Maybe we'll let you live.
The Russian form of negotiating. I'll let you keep half of it.
I tell you who's really nervous right now is Taiwan.
Well,
they're watching all this go down, but when is China going to be knocking on the door soon?
Exactly. I think they are. You're exactly right. And this is the exact distraction that really that China needs for the world to pay attention to the Middle East and say, oh, we're sneaking in the back door.
Exactly.
So glad you're out there. Our number here at Mornings in Meridian, 601-485-9191, 601-485-9191. Love to hear what's on your mind this morning. Let's go there right now. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Big Ross. How are you all today?
Morning.
Good morning, Big Algie Davis.
Yes, sir. Can I get a little announcement on?
You just come on in here and tell us what's on your mind, sir.
Man, we got a big program coming up November the 10th at 9:30. We're going to honor all our military personnel, men and women. Have a nice program planned for them. You ladies especially, if you've lost your husband in a war or through just natural causes, please come and wear the new shoes. You can tell about your husband's service, and so we don't want to overlook anybody. This will be the 26th year that the students at Southeast has put this on, Raj, and we enjoy doing it. I'm just glad that they let me be just a part of it.
Yeah.
Because it's an honor to have all these veterans and military guys out here. If you wore a uniform of the United States military, we consider you to be a veteran out here at Southeast. So please come. Come let the students see you and hear what you got to say. And I think you'll find it rewarding, and you'll feel honored and appreciated.
That's 9:30.
Thank you all for letting me get on the air.
No, Algie, that's going to be at 9:30 at Southeast, and that's at the elementary?
No, it's high school.
It's at the high school. Okay, it's going to be at Southeast High, 9:30. And
yes, and there'll be students out there on golf carts. They'll pick you up and ride you right to the front door of where the program is going to take place. You make them do it where you park. Some of them will see you, and they'll come get you on a golf cart and ride you right to the program. And we just try to make you feel welcome and appreciated and loved. That's our objective, and if we accomplish that, we've had a good day.
There you go. So, and folks, and you said it rest. If you did put on a uniform of the United States military, you are a veteran, and we invite you to come out there and be. If you want to be treated like royalty, that's what. If you feel like you're mistreated or you have been treated like royalty lately, just go to this event as a military veteran. As you said, the students will greet you, and you are providing a huge teaching moment to the kids there at Southeast High School, at Southeast School. So be sure and take advantage of that if you're a veteran.
Yeah, Roger. I mean, these kids, they're not going to know any other way than to hear it from a veteran. And they get excited about the program. And I'm not kidding you. It's, I don't know. I don't think there's anybody that's ever been to the program that could laugh and say, I wasn't pleased with what I saw, or I wasn't pleased with the program. Because these kids go all out, and the teachers too, as far as that goes. And it's just a great program to honor the people who've given so much. And we just want them to turn out. Come, let us. We introduce them individually. We don't introduce you as no group.
Yeah.
We go to you with a microphone, and you say who you are, where you served, and anything you want to say. There is no speeches other than if a veteran wants to say something, then he's got the mic. As far as a politician coming out here and making a speech, no, that won't happen.
Yeah, it's going to be all veterans.
It's all veterans.
Love it.
And they're the only ones that, well, I have to talk a little bit to introduce them, but other than that, it's whatever they want to say. And a lot of them do say, I served in such and such front or this. And you're welcome to go into the classrooms after the program, after the meal, and visit with the shooters and let them ask you questions. And I'll assure you they have questions, because they don't know that about any other way, Raj. It's just not being taught about the wars and stuff. So come on out. Let us honor you and show you how much, especially you Vietnam guys. I know how you all felt when you came home. You were spit on, you were cursed. But let me tell you, when you leave here, you will feel honored, I promise you.
All right.
So everybody, all you veterans and ladies, come on out to the program. November the 10th, starting at 9:30.
9:30, November 10th, Southeast High School. Be there, especially
Thank you, Raj.
veterans. Thank you, Algie. Thanks for checking in with us.
All right, buddy.
All right. Always good to hear from that man.
Oh, yeah.
A true American is Algie Davis.
One of the best programs that is put on in the area, I think, by far, is the one at Southeast.
So you would agree that it's a great teaching moment out there?
It is. They need it. We need it at every school, I think.
Sure. Yes,
All right. So put that on your schedule. Of course, it's just we're less than a month away now from Veterans Day.
Oh, yeah.
So keep that all in mind, folks, as we head toward that time in November. I mean, I haven't even done any Christmas shopping yet. It's already...
You didn't get me anything yet?
No.
Well, I'll take yours back then.
Okay. We'll be right back. Stay with us. two country stars from Bakersfield, California.
Who's the other one?
Buck Owen and Dwight Yoakam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's some good stuff there. All right. Got a tiger by the tail? Well, I'll tell you what now. Let's just talk about something that's really unpleasant to a lot of people because you don't want to talk about and think about insurance. But guess who in town here makes it pleasant and makes it easy for you?
How many guesses?
Just
one guess. Jeffrey Wilson.
Jeffrey.
Life is better at the farm. State Farm Insurance. And here's the deal, guys. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you can save an average of $889 a year. That sound pretty good to you?
Good.
Just think how much you could buy me for Christmas with that $889.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Roger's time to do some Christmas shopping. State Farm agent Jeffrey Wilson is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Meridian. Call him today, 601-483-8253. And, of course, your insurance needs change year to year. I don't know if you're aware of that, but, as your income increases or decreases if you work in radio, but, you need to have a reassessment.
Wow!
Sorry. You need to have a reassessment of what your insurance needs are. And Jeffrey Wilson will meet with you every year, kind of look at what you need, and then he'll make adjustments to your policy. And that's exactly what you need. You need to know your agent so that when you have an issue, you can call him. And Jeffrey Wilson is the guy to know. Give him a call today or go see him. He's on Highway 39 North. His number, 601-483-8253. Jeffrey Wilson, State Farm.
All right, let me tell you, beef tips and rice down there at the Magnolia Restaurant today, along with other good things, the Biggie Burger, and all these wonderful treats that you'll get at the Queen City Truck Stop. Rob, did you make it by there on a fairly recent?
Yeah, went by there this weekend, got a Biggie Burger.
All right.
How big was it?
Huge. So,
and, of course, today's Monday. You know what they got? Beef tips over rice.
That's it.
That's the one. Of course, they also got fried chicken. Can't go wrong with that. Everybody's favorite. And the veggie plates. Man, it's just good stuff. Give them a call. Get something to go. 601-482-0259.
Go to exit 150. You'll find it right there. Magnolia Restaurant. Guys, I guess it's time to say goodbye.
Yep, Sheriff's on tomorrow.
Oh, the Sheriff.
Biscuit Day!
The Biscuit Day.
Yeah, don't eat breakfast tomorrow, Roger. The Sheriff is bringing it.